Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, what the upcoming election means for gun owners, a new AR, and more. Call in now with your range reports. 1-TOM-TALK-GUNS. Now, here's Tom.
Alrighty, I'm Tom Gresham, and we're going to be talking about guns. Yes, indeed, because this is, in fact, Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us right here, all you have to do is give us a call. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in there, 866-TALK-GUN. Over on Twitter, I am at Gun Talk. On Facebook, just look for Gun Talk or Gun Talk Media on Facebook. You can join us over there. We have a lot of ways for you to be involved. Anything going on this week? Yeah, I know. I doubt that there's anyone who has not made up his or her mind about the election. The only question is, will people be dissuaded from actually going to vote? I made it a point to not do early voting. I don't know why exactly. It just felt like I wanted to do it on Election Day. I wanted to have the full experience of Election Day. Now, where I am, I just checked, I believe the polls are going to open at 6 a.m. And so I'm going to be over there when they open. I want to be there. I want to do that. I want to get that done. I want to be part of the process. It's beyond huge what this election means in oh so many ways. We could talk about Supreme Court. We could talk about lower court judges. We could talk about the multi-layered assaults on your rights that have been waged by the Clintons for the last 30 plus years. An ongoing, long, distinguished career of assaulting your rights. As she said, from her own voice, she says, well, yeah, before they called it Obamacare, they called it Hillary Care. Yeah, we did. For those of you not old enough to know or maybe have forgotten, long before Obamacare, Hillary, as First Lady, unelected as First Lady, ran the task force to overhaul the medical system, insurance, Medicare, all of that in the country. Basically, it was Obamacare, but it was Hillary Care, and made sure that it happened in secret. No reports of what this task force was doing, and only after word got out of what they were up to, and there was a huge upheaval of objection, did it get shut down. As I think about it, operating in the secret, operating behind closed doors, hiding what she's doing is what she's always done. Always. She learned a lot, though. She did learn. She's a good study. You know, of course, she was on for a while, worked on the Watergate Commission till she got kicked off. They caught her doing nefarious things that would basically cook the books, try to slant it to where it would be against Nixon. What she learned from that, think about this. What was Nixon's biggest mistake, according to a lot of people? For those of us who go all the way back to that, there was an 18-minute, actually there were a lot of tapes, there's parts that are missing, but he recorded what was going on in the Oval Office. And people said, well, why did he destroy the tapes? Because everybody said, well, he's dumb. Because he was basically done in by the audio recordings that he made in the Oval Office. Hillary learned. She said, well, I am never, ever going to allow anything to exist that documents what I've been doing. Hence, private servers, private email servers. Hence, smashing phones, tablets, computers with hammers. Hence, using high-end software to destroy the data on hard drives. She's thinking back to Nixon. This is what got Nixon. This is where I came into all of this as a young woman, young lawyer, fresh out of law school. I watched what happened to this president of the United States because he had evidence of his wrongdoings. I, Hillary Clinton, will make sure there is never any evidence of my wrongdoings. And she learned well. It just happens that in the digital age, things don't exist in only one location. If there were physical tapes and they got burned, then it's over. They're gone. But when it's digital, you could destroy the stuff on your hard drive, but if they have been shared, if they have been hacked, if they have been copied, if they have been leaked, if your maid, which comes out this weekend, your maid has classified information, not to mention Anthony Weiner, then your Nixonian tapes will come back to haunt you. Oh, poor thing. Bless her heart. Good grief. Oh, good grief. We have so many things to talk about. We're going to talk about some guns. And we'll talk about this new AR out. We'll talk about that. I also would like to get your range reports, both from the shooting range, and if you did early voting, I'd love to get a report on what happened there. Big crowds, small crowds, anybody talking about candidates while you're in line? And also, this is a freebie. You get to handicap the election. What do you think is going to happen? We've all seen the polls. We've all heard the chattering nabobs of negativism. And if you're old enough to know where that came from, you're old like me. So what do you think? Is it a groundswell of support for Trump? Does Hillary have it locked up with the Electoral College? And here's the real big one, what happens afterwards? The election is in 2 days, November the 8th. What happens on the 9th? Either way, people are already buying guns. At some point you think, well, why? What do you think you're going to be doing out there? I don't quite understand some of that, but at the same time, I understand the sentiment, the feeling about it. Also, when we come back, let me talk about two reports. A Pizza Hut employee shoots and kills an armed robber with his handgun, and the two takes on that, one from the police and one from the mother of the armed robber who got shot. We'll have that. So what is your take on the election? And do you think that it's kind of scientifical? 866 Talk Gun. Be right back.
Nosler has been a leader in bullets and ammunition for decades and keeps growing with new product introductions that follow this tradition. Accurate, highly effective bullets and ammo for long-range shooting, precision rifle competition, and big game hunting. To be the first to hear about new product releases and promotions, follow Nosler on Facebook and Instagram and become part of the conversation. You won't settle, and neither will we. Nosler.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power bedding integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle. Another rugged and reliable firearm from Ruger.
When it's all on the line, you can count on Trijicon Optics. Earning its reputation in combat and on hunts in all corners of the world, Trijicon comes through. The new AccuPower rifle scopes feature battery-powered illuminated reticles, variable power, adjustable brightness, plus they're waterproof. The years of waiting, the dollars spent, your hunt of a lifetime comes down to a single moment. Get Trijicon quality. Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
Slim, concealable, and now in .45 auto. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield pistol gives you all-day comfort and confidence. Its reliable performance and easy operation make the lightweight, striker-fired M&P 45 Shield pistol the perfect choice for personal protection. Power and performance you need from the brand you trust. The M&P 45 Shield pistol from Smith & Wesson. Go to smith-wesson.com. That's smith-wesson.com.
Hey, welcome back. 866-TALK-GUN, or you just call with 1, then Tom Talk Gun. We'll get you in here. Line 3, Norris is with us out of Houston, Texas. Hello, Norris. You're on Gun Talk.
Hey, we got to vote early here in Houston, Harris County, and the lines were long. It was probably 45 minutes on my side of town to get in to vote, and we saw a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm hopeful that the enthusiasm is that we're tired of feeling threatened like we did with Barack Obama, threatened with our Second Amendment rights. And I'm hoping that people will hear all of this and they'll get out there and they'll vote on Tuesday, because early voting's over here on Friday. So I'm hoping that we can be a little more positive about this election. Even though the poll numbers are kind of skewed a lot of times, I think that there's a good chance that Trump can pull this out.
Well, I think there's a chance. And here's the thing, Norris, get your take on this. I know that the polls, and people always say, well, the polls tend to be pretty good most of the time. They're pretty accurate. In this case, I'm not so sure because of two things, really. One is that we just saw a report that the majority of the pollsters have donated to Hillary, because now, of course, we know who people donate to. And number two, I'm not sure that true conservatives are easy to poll. What do you think?
I tend to agree. You know, the funny thing, Tom, is I've never had anyone ever poll me and ask my opinion about how I would vote. You know, I tend to believe, I listened to some of the WikiLeaks talking about the polling, how they're trying to skew the election to their direction by putting out polls that show that they're winning. And I believe people, and the sad thing is people here in America, they do tend to get misled to the point where, you know, they may say, hey, it's already over, you know, Hillary's already won it, there's no need for you.
And that's the goal, of course.
And I believe that people do that. But I believe that hopefully this time, you know, the sad thing about it, Tom, is we've heard constantly people talking about how they don't trust politicians and they're so sick and tired of politicians. Well, I think even with his misleadings, I believe that Trump has an opportunity to finally appeal to those people that have been for years been saying we're so sick and tired of politicians. There's an opportunity for an individual that's a businessman to come out and do something finally that's good for the American people, that's not on party lines. You know, we've heard too many times about Republicans come out against Trump, and I believe, I hate to say it because I've been voting predominantly conservative and Republican, but I believe someone finally got inside of their heads and they came out against him, because I think he's a threat to the Republican Party. And I believe that by people getting excited and coming out to his rallies, I think it may be a determination of hopefully what will happen come Tuesday, and that people will finally get off their duff and go do something.
Well, from your lips, I sure hope so, Norris. Hey, look, thanks for the call. I got an email from William. He said, He says, I don't trust either of the candidates as far as I could throw them. Hillary is a known value. She's corrupt, vindictive, and just plain evil. Trump is also a known value. Trump is also corrupt, just looking at his past, and he is vindictive as well. He has waffled on nearly every position he's taken, so I don't know what to believe from him. But here's his takeaway. He says, no matter who wins, we cannot afford to let up in our efforts for 1 iota of a second because we can't afford to lose 1 micron of ground in the battle for our rights. And William, I think you're exactly right. No matter who wins, the battle over the Second Amendment will continue, and it will be heated because the forces that do truly want to take away your guns, make no mistake, that's exactly what they want. They like to pretend they don't. They like to go incremental on you. Oh, we just want background checks, yes, and we just want, we do really want to ban a lot of guns, and we really, according to Hillary Clinton, she says we really ought to take a look at that Australian model. Do people actually know what the Australian model is? Here it is in a nutshell. Here's what happened in Australia. You must turn in your guns or go to prison. But they called it voluntary. It's a voluntary thing. Well, except for the part that if you don't do it, you'll go to jail. Yeah. Oh, not assault weapons, just semi-automatic handguns and rifles. And did we mention it's also pump-action shotguns as well as semi-automatic shotguns, as in duck hunting, as in bird hunting? Yeah, those two. Got to turn them in or go to prison. Hillary Clinton thinks we should consider doing that in the U.S. We call that confiscation. Yeah. Line 2, Steve's with us out of Arizona. Steve, what do you think?
Well, here's what I think. I think if we were told the truth, that Tuesday's election would be a landslide for Donald Trump.
The truth about
the
what?
Charges that everybody is alluding to are disgusting charges. Think about this. Wiener's laptop, Wiener rolled. Wiener is a sick pervert. These are what these charges have to do with. And nobody in mainstream media has even talked about these. The New York Police Department, the SVU, is already with charges to be levied. And the Justice Department, of course, is trying to tell everybody, well, you got to back off because you're going to influence the election. But if people knew the truth, they'd be mind blown. I know I was when I started reading some different things.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there are people talking about it, Steve. The problem is no one has come out with anything with enough specificity for the media to pick up on it. Because believe me, there's some media out there that would pick up on it if they had anything that was very specific. And I know what you are referring to. We'll see. Well, I don't know what's going. Obviously, nothing's going to happen in the next 2 days, so that one's off the table as far as what it is going to mean for the election. But I do understand exactly what you're talking about. Line 1, Will is in Minnesota. Will, you're on Gun Talk. Hey, Will. Oh,
you know
Michigan.
Your caller, he definitely hit the point. I'm a retired Navy commander, and this is definitely a problem. Hillary Clinton got the point. Supreme Court Justice.
Okay, hey, I tell you what, let's put Will back on hold. That phone is dropping out so much we can't understand what he's saying. Let's see if we can get him to a better spot on the road or go find someplace. We will. But that's one of the issues. If he's going, it's a little hard to have the conversation. So if we can get Will with a better connection here, we'll bring him back in. I mentioned earlier that there was a shooting at a Pizza Hut in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte police say a pizza restaurant employee used his own handgun to shoot and kill one of 3 armed robbers holding up the store. Let's see here. This was after the store had closed. It's 1:40 a.m. 3 armed robbers come in, and one of the guys who works at the Pizza Hut shoots one of them and kills him. I don't really see a problem there, except the follow-up story. The parents of the Pizza Hut robbery suspect question why worker fatally shot their son. Yeah, they say it's been a hard week for the parents. Yeah, well, because their son is an armed robber and he got shot. It's kind of an occupational hazard of being an armed robber. Somebody may take offense and may just shoot you for that. But here's the line. Here is the takeaway. Quote, if there was, this is the mother of the armed robber who was shot and killed, the mother. If there was to be a death, it was not the place of the employee at Pizza Hut. That is the place of law enforcement. No. No. All right, I think Will's got a better signal on his cell phone now. Let's go pick you up. Detroit Lakes, Minnesota there. Hey, Will, you're back.
Okay, I hope this is a lot better.
That sounds a lot better, thanks.
Here's my situation. I'm a retired Navy commander, and I fought for the country, and the idea of turning over the Supreme Court to a bunch of liberals is absolutely scary. The idea.
Why? What specifically frightens you about that? Hey, Will, what is, when you talk about the Supreme Court, what is it that scares you? What specifically scares you about that?
Well, we've seen right now with Sotomayor and Elena Kagan and Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Kennedy that they will go along with anything that the liberals tell them to. It's just lockstep. There's no common sense, and it has nothing to do with the Constitution.
Well, exactly, and they actually use their decisions to effect the social change they want, irrespective of whether it actually is covered in the Constitution. If it's constitutional, they just say, "Look, we have this power. We will use it to change America in the way we want." That's what Barack Obama was betting on, and that's certainly what Hillary Clinton is betting on. And, of course, we were able to hold on to our gun rights by a slim 5-4 decision. Hillary Clinton says she will put somebody on the Supreme Court. They will undo that. And she says the Supreme Court got it wrong on the Second Amendment. That's Hillary Clinton. Yeah, when they said we have an individual right to keep and bear arms, she says that's wrong, and she must fix it.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All righty, back with you. Tom Gresham here. By the way, speaking of the Washington Times, I had a piece in the Washington Times, what was that, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday ran. Actually, they'd uploaded it Thursday nights, Friday. You can go to WashingtonTimes.com, and you can find it under the opinion section there. The title of the article that I wrote was Trump's Secret Armed Army. And I thought, well, that's provocative. We'll see if we can get some attention. Evidently we did. We got a gazillion comments on it there. I'll just read you the first 2 or 3 lines out of this. As the country races to the finish line, marked by the November 8 election day, media pundits, pollsters, and operatives from both Democratic and Republican parties appear to have overlooked a secret weapon about to be unleashed. That weapon, which will appear at the polls, is the army of enthusiastic gun owners found everywhere, but particularly in the swing states. These aren't the flannel-clad coterie of hunters who traditionally lean to the right, but who tend to be almost blasé about the outcome of elections, believing that their hunting guns won't attract the attention of the Clinton gun ban machine she has promised to unleash. It goes on, but you can find it at WashingtonTimes.com. And in it, I point out that a third of the people getting their concealed carry permits now are women. Most interesting. Let's see. I want to go to Linda on line 3 out of Farmington, New Mexico. Linda, you're on Gun Talk. Why do you not trust polls?
Well, we had somebody call the house to take a poll, and when we answered the question, presumably in a manner that they didn't want to hear, they just hung up on us. And so my idea is that, if our answers are going to skew their poll in a way that they don't want to have it skew their poll, then they just don't finish the poll with us.
Wow. Oh, give me an idea. What kind of question, what kind of answer was going on here?
So they wanted to know if we were going to do early voting, which we did, and asked us who we were voting for. And then they asked us what was the most important issue. And I said gun control. And they apparently weren't happy with that.
Really? Well, you know what? That makes me just smile from ear to ear, Linda, because what that tells me is that if that's what they're doing, then the polls, then you're right. The polls are not accurate, and they're not counting us because they don't want to hear that. And what that may mean, if we can get America's gun owners off their collective butts and to the polls on Tuesday, we've got a shot at preserving our rights. And and look, thank you so much for the call, Linda. And I'm not talking about, let me see, how do I say this? I'm not saying that Donald Trump is a savior for us. I'm just saying that she has announced she will drop the nuclear bomb on gun rights. What do I mean by that? Background checks are not that. All this other stuff is not that. The nuclear bomb, the full-blown, scorched earth, salt the fields, leave no one behind, kill all the witnesses attack on the Second Amendment is the repeal of the Protection and Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Hillary Clinton was at the core 22 years ago, coming out of the White House, of the lawsuits that were initiated and filed by cities around the country. The lawsuits, they were trying to hold gun makers financially responsible for the misuse of their product. So somebody ends up stealing a gun, a Smith & Wesson gun, goes out and kills somebody with it or has an accident with it, and somehow Smith & Wesson's supposed to pay for that. That was the crux of the lawsuits. But that wasn't the reason for the lawsuits. The reason, and they were so bold, they just told the media and everybody, they said, our goal is to destroy America's gun-making industry. Our goal, they said to the media, is to put America's gun makers out of business. And if they had gotten a single one of these lawsuits to be successful, they would have destroyed America's gun-making industry. Gun makers would have all closed their doors. Hillary Clinton has made it an important part of her campaign to repeal the law that protects the gun industry from these bogus junk lawsuits and to hold gun makers responsible for what people do when they misuse the product. Imagine suing Ford for the misuse of a car by a drunk driver. Same deal. That's the nuclear attack. And they'll say, well, we still have the Second Amendment. Yeah, but nobody's making any guns anymore. So you have to listen. So when I say you have to go vote for your rights, and I just had somebody say, well, yeah, I voted for Gary Johnson. Really? You voted for Hillary Clinton. You voted against gun rights. That's what you did. I know you think you're standing on principle. I get that. But you know in your heart that a vote for Gary Johnson helps Hillary Clinton, because you're not going to vote for her. And if you didn't have that option of Gary Johnson, you would have voted for Trump. So it's real simple. A vote for the Libertarian candidate, in this case, helps Hillary Clinton, the gun banner. You could varnish it any way you want, but that's the actual effect of it. It's really pretty simple. It truly is. So, who are these people who want to take away your guns? Who are the people who think you basically have no rights? Well, I go back, remember, 6, 7 years ago, when then Mayor of Shreveport, Louisiana, Cedric Glover, we got him recorded. He was saying, well, if it's a traffic stop, of course they can come take your gun. So why is that? So, well, you don't have rights during a traffic stop. When you are faced with the police, you don't have rights, was what he said. You wouldn't have believed it if we didn't have it recorded, okay? So here he is, Cedric Glover, the former mayor of Shreveport, Louisiana, talking about your rights being suspended during a traffic stop.
Your rights at that point have been suspended.
Simple as that. You want to know how they think? That's how they think. We will suspend your rights. Well, because we can, and we know better. And besides, you're just a peon. Time for us to regain control. We do that at the ballot box. Be right back.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it, Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
Brownells has always given you an advantage. With their huge selection of forever guaranteed gun parts, ammunition, shooting accessories, and more. And now, they're offering you the Edge. For just $49.95, Brownells Edge covers your standard shipping and any return shipping cost for 1 year. Brownells Edge members also receive discount expedited shipping and exclusive offers. Get the Edge today by visiting brownells.com/edge.
Do you know SID? If you want a gun silencer, SID is your champion. SID is a special kiosk powered by Silencer Shop that has shipped to more than 300 gun stores nationwide, where you and all of your trustees can register, get fingerprinted, and complete the documents necessary to own a silencer in your gun trust. Easy, ATF compliant, and you only need to visit SID once. SID, Secure Identity Documentation. Learn more at silencershop.com. Making the world a quieter place.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
Oh, this is just so cool. We love to give away stuff, and then our friends at Ruger step up and go, oh, you like to give away stuff? How about not just a gun? How about not 2 guns? How about not 3 guns? How about let's give away 4 guns this month? Sure. Go to guntalk.com/win. Grand prize. Each week, we're giving away a gun. Week 1, a Mark IV pistol. Week 2, Ruger American Pistol Compact. Week 3, the brand new LCP-2 with its great trigger. And wait for it, Week 4, an SR1911. Yeah, baby. We're giving away 4 guns this month. All you got to do is go to guntalk.com/win enter for a chance to win. That is sweet stuff. You can also see videos of all these guns on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/guntalktv. That's youtube.com/guntalktv. Pretty darn sweet. Also, you can enter to win a Liberty Safe HDX 250 at libertysafe.com. They're going to give away 3 of those on November the 7th. A lot of stuff going on here. Mike is in Kansas on line 1. Hey, Mike, talk to me about this voting thing.
Yes. What amounts to, there's an organization that has been researching and studying the voting machines and the history of them for about the last 20 years. And anyway, what amounts to is not at the local precinct level, but at the counters, they can basically pull the election, whatever way you want to call it, the way they want it. And the organization does have a website. A guy can check it out. It's blackboxvoting.org. And what amounts to is it's got quite a capability. What Trump's organization is trying to do is trying to do exit polling, and basically it'll show the problem. But what has happened is the Democrats have gone and filed lawsuits in 4 states trying to prevent any exit polling to be taken in the battleground states.
Yeah, and of course they're trying to say, well, you're intimidating voters. Well, you can't intimidate them if they've already voted. I mean, come on, give me a break. Hey, Mike, thanks very much. It's blackboxvoting.org. I don't know anything about it, but go take a look if you're interested in that. Maurice, line 4 in Florette, Alabama. Maurice, you're on Gun Talk.
Well, thank you. I heard a little news item this morning. I was about half asleep. They said something about a guy wandering around outside the fence at the White House with a gun. And, of course, they stopped him and talked to him and took his gun away. And one of the things they charged him with was possession of unregistered ammunition. That sounded like a new charge to me.
Well, two thoughts here. Well, no, 3 thoughts. One, this is a media report, so we don't know if any of it's true or how accurate it is.
Yes.
2, this is in D.C. I don't know if they have a requirement for registration of ammo there. And 3, how in the world would you know? Because there are no serial numbers or anything on ammo. But to your point, yes, that is exactly where we're going. We're going to the place, look at California, where you would have to do a background check to buy ammunition. And then right on the heels of that will be, well, how much ammunition do you actually need? And then, for those who don't know, in certain countries, when you get ammo and shoot it, you must be able to show every round of brass. That way, you can always have possession of the brass and the loaded rounds, so they will know you didn't give or share or sell a single round of ammunition to anyone. So to your point, to your concern, you're right on the money. That's where the Clinton gun ban machine would like to take us. Line 2, Ray, the Bronx, New York. Hey, Ray, you're up.
Hey, Tom. As you know, I'm calling from point 0, not even ground zero, being here in New York. This is basically the point 5,000 feet below where the nuclear bomb you're talking about is going to go off. And I want to just compare the eve of the election to another important eve in American history, the eve of the Battle of the Cowpens, which is...
Hey, Ray, hold up. Ray, we got 30 seconds. You got to do it that fast. Go.
What Donald needs to do is ask all the 110 million gun owners in this country, all the legal gun owners, for one single vote, just one time, get off the couch like you said, and then in 4 years, if he hasn't lived up to his word, they can all point to him and say, Donald, you're fired.
Yeah, you know what? We do have an exit clause on the presidency. If after 4 years we don't like him, we think he betrayed us, whatever, we can send him packing and, hey, you're out of here. It's a good point, Ray. I appreciate that. Yeah, by the way, if you don't know Battle of Cowpens, look it up. One of my great ancestors was a central figure in the Battle of Cowpens. It's a little known but pretty cool element of American history worth checking out. 866-TALK-GUN is our message here, our number. You can join us. Have you early voted? How were the crowds? Have you talked to people? What are they saying? Do you really think there is a groundswell that's going to come up and support Trump and get him elected? Also, in just a short time, we're going to be talking about a brand new rifle and the really cool way we introduced it. All right, line 3. John's with us out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Hey, John, what did you get?
I inherited a M1 3030 carbine from my father. It's
nice.
About 50 years old, and I was considering to use it for deer hunting. It's made by Miami Firearms, and I just wanted to get your input on that.
Well, I don't know if you've shot it or if you've looked at it much. The 30 caliber carbine round is basically a pistol round. It's not very powerful, but it would be perfectly fine for deer hunting if you use the right bullets. The full metal jacket bullets, which are very popular and common, are not good for deer hunting. But there are a few outfits now loading good expanding bullets in a 30-30, and it would be an excellent out to 100, 150-yard deer cartridge. Shouldn't be any problem at all.
Oh, well, that's good, because I do have some expanding rounds that has been left over, and I can tell you 60 rounds might have been shot through that gun throughout its entire lifetime.
Yeah, pretty typical. Well, that's cool. I would definitely hold on to it, shoot it. I mean, it was your dad's gun, do a little hunting with it, take it out to the range, just have some fun.
All right. What about mounting a scope on that? It just has simple open sights on it right now.
There are ways to do it. It's a little bit problematic. Tell you what, I'm going to put the word out. If somebody knows a good system for mounting a scope on an M1 carbine and what you want, Michelle's saying a scout scope might be the way to go. Well, but give us a call if you have done that or how it worked for you. Let us know. And, John, you just keep listening. We'll see if we can help you out there. I appreciate it. Thank you for the call. I got this email from another John. He said he was polled, and he answered we're talking about the polling and is it accurate? We already had one person that called in and said they were polled, and then when they started answering basically with their conservative values and said the issue that they vote on is gun control, the pollster hung up on them. So John says he was polled, and he says, I answered the questions, according to my beliefs. He said, as I answered, it sounded like the answers were not liberal enough for the pollster, and the pollster laughed and tried to belittle me. He said I completed the poll and went out of my way to answer so they would hate my answers. Wow. Okay, there's 2 data points. Pollsters who either stopped the poll when they weren't getting the pro-Clinton viewpoint or tried to belittle the person who's being polled when he answered with his conservative, gun rights-oriented answers. Yeah, Jim says, great. When Trump wins, the pollsters can claim that he fixed the election. Because, of course, they're going to say, well, look, all the polls showed that Hillary was in the lead. If Trump wins, then something had to be rigged, something except that, what we're thinking is the polls are rigged. The polls are slanted. The polls are simply not just, and here's the important part, not just inaccurate. Because that's one thing. You say, okay, you're just not very good at polling. Okay, well, incompetence is one thing. Corruption's a whole different thing. And if you're cooking the books on the polls, and of course the idea, as a previous caller said, is to convince the public, oh, it's over. Don't even bother going to the polls. This is a lock. Hillary's got it. She's won the Electoral College. Why? No. You have to go vote. For one thing, there are people in uniform who you owe it to. There are people at Arlington National Cemetery. You owe them your time to go vote. How dare you not do that? But more than that, we've got to do the down ballot voting. Senators, congressmen, because that's who's going to be the stopgap. If Hillary did get elected, who's going to stop her? Only Congress. It's the only thing that's going to be there. So you're going to have to show up Tuesday, whatever it takes. Take your friends. You simply got to be there. Hey, when we come back, a new rifle. This is pretty cool.